Hey guys, have you been thinking about what is going on with the market? Well, I have a lot. You know why? Because I'm a realtor. My name's Lori, and I'm hanging out by my pond at home and just sitting here with a glass of wine. And lo and behold, a friend of mine walks by. Billy, hey,
Hey, hey,
cheers!
Lori.
And you got some wine too.
I do. What a great way to end the week. Billy
Yeah.
Cunningham, Ask Lender Billy, independent mortgage broker here. So, the market, yeah, it's been a little crazy the last month. So, you want me to kind of break it down a bit?
Yeah, but I'm still like recovering from the fact that you happen to be a lender and one of my top 10 favorite lenders,
Oh,
maybe top five.
thank God I made the list. Wow.
Yes, let's talk about the market. So, first off, didn't we think the rates were going down? Didn't we hear that in the news and then it didn't happen?
We did. And here's where media really makes the waters murky. So, last month, we had the highly anticipated Fed Reserve drop rates a full half a point. The market was up in arms, so excited. But
Yeah.
here's the harsh reality, gang, is that the insiders, the Wall Street traders, the bond traders that really set the market, they'd already priced all of that improvement in rates into the market up to about a couple days before the drop. And so what did we actually see happen days after? Rates went up and they have been off to the races since then. And that is largely due really to one thing, and it comes down to jobs. So we had a smoking hot jobs report a couple weeks back. And well, it's kind of counterintuitive. You think that that's good. It's good for the economy.
Hmm.
Uh, the Fed needs a reason. They need a narrative to bring rates down. So at this point, we're kind of feeling like we were lucky to get the half. The talk we were hearing even 2 weeks ago about a drop this month, and then again
Oh,
at their last meeting in December, that might be off the table. So only time will tell. But yeah, it's been a challenge because rates are up about a half a point to 5/8 from the lows we saw just prior to that drop.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
does that make you want to drink more wine?
It kind of makes me want to refill my glass, but you know, I think it's kind of a good segue because here we are. It's November 1st. It's getting
Yes.
cold. We're happy to be in our cold clothes, right, Lori?
First day of my little vest here, yeah.
And my flannel.
No shorts, no skirt today.
But even with some rates up, why do you think it might be a good idea for people as we enter the holidays and through the holidays to buyers to hang in there and sellers, as opposed to just pulling out and waiting until it gets warm again this spring?
I don't know. I think it's crazy that people do that. I really do. I know we have an election on Tuesday, November 5th. And if you look at all the data of elections, for example, nothing's changed. There's no ups and downs that are out of control with that 4 year window. And it's like, why are people holding off because there's an election? I don't know. Here it is November, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas coming. Maybe people are just overwhelmed with those holidays. But if you don't have that problem with big families coming to your house, let's say it's listed, I wouldn't take it off the market. I would keep it on. This weekend, I have someone coming from the Bay Area, San Francisco, to look at some houses, and it's going to be gold for him. He has no competition. He does not have to outbid other offers. There won't be multiple offers.
Right.
And I don't know why. I can't really answer that, but I
Yeah.
think that this is a great time for buyers to start looking and make an offer, get that deal, have a realtor like myself that can negotiate very well on your behalf, because that's something I love to do. And I specialize in country properties, so that's even more challenging because you have to do a few more things, like check
You
out
are
the
the horse
well.
whisperer. You
Yes,
know, you
horse.
know.
Actually, golf too. And
Okay.
but a lot of properties out here have a septic and a well, and they
Right.
have water access.
Yeah.
NID, which is Nevada Irrigation District, or PWCA. Actually, I got that backwards. Placer County Water Agency,
Right. Right. That's right.
PCWA.
Yeah.
I don't have that, so it's harder for me to remember that acronym. I've got NID down because we give them a lot of money. So you can see that we water everything here. Just kidding. Behind this camera on the other side is actually 30 fruit and nut trees that I was able to plant.
Love it.
So I
Love
wanted
it.
to share that because let's say you are someone in the Bay Area and you want an orchard, or
Right.
you want your own winery, or
Yeah.
you want horses, or you want it all. This is a great area to live.
Well,
And now's the time to look.
and it's a pretty good deal. So we're on about 5.5 acres,
Yeah.
and I think we pay around $1,000 a year for all the water from the canal we can use. It's a pretty good deal, whether you're, like you said, you're going to plant a winery, or you just are wanting to plant fruit trees, or you already have an existing orchard. So I think acreage properties, and this speaks to your expertise, Lori, and someone with a background in equestrian, it's such a different animal that when I talk to people that are thinking about buying a horse property, they have a whole different set of priorities than most people. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really easy as a real estate agent to assume, oh, okay, I found the right bedroom, bathroom count, the right size yard, but that might be so low on their list, right?
Yeah. It is totally.
Right.
It
And
was low on our list.
you
It was
guys
about
talk,
the land.
yeah, you talk about the paddock and all these equestrian terms that most of us don't understand.
The paddock. Yeah, that's a big one. I did have a house. I was showing a horse friend a property on FaceTime, actually. She lived in Pacific Grove, where it's a
Okay.
bit chilly,
Yeah.
so not used to the heat up here. But I was in the ranchos outside of Lake of the Pines, and the listing said there was a barn. So I'm walking around with her, and I had to text a listing agent and say, "Where is the barn? I can't find it." And it turned. She goes, "Oh, it's you're right next to it." And I'm like, "You mean the lean-to? Do you know what a lean-to is?"
I think I do, but I'm sure I'm wrong.
So it's basically a wall with two sides and a roof.
Okay. All
So
right.
it's wide open, but a horse could go in there and get cover.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend it for small livestock because they can't be protected from predators such as a mountain lion or
Right.
coyotes if you don't have fencing or livestock guardian dogs. But it's just an inexpensive way and a happy way for the horse to give them cover without them feeling trapped or being
Yeah.
stuck in a stall.
Yeah.
I know we kind of got sidetracked,
No,
but
no, no. And I think
it's fun to talk
we
about.
should do a separate visit because
Yeah.
you are so knowledgeable about all things horses, and I think there's so many people out there that just don't know how to approach the market. So mental note.
Yeah.
So
Let's do that again.
so some thoughts that I had about buying during this time of year. So I've been a lender for I'm in my 24th year, and thank
Congratulations.
you,
Cheers. Oh, I should
thank
have
you.
a drink.
Right? Cheers. And I would say out of the top 10 best transactions, in other words, the best value, that amazing property that a client was able to put together and become the homeowner, all but one have been from right around this time of year, November 1st through the end of the January. And I think it's because people really fall asleep at the wheel. And I got to tell you, gang, if you want to be a successful home buyer, I think you really have to have a contrarian mentality because otherwise you're part of the herd and you're chasing the same properties. Okay, you wait until May, it gets nice. If a nice home comes on the market and it checks all your boxes, guess what? Chances are it checks the boxes for a lot of other people. So
Right.
I will challenge people that are visiting and do watch this video to really consider, how much do you need to get into a house? And are you willing to maybe not sacrifice the holidays, but maybe it's more stressful holidays? But there's so much opportunity because I think what we all forget is that we're going to see a lot of properties that come off the market, but there's a lot less buyers. And so, folks, people have to move, right?
Yeah.
You've got people, maybe there's been a death in the family, there's been a job relocation, they need to downsize, or they've already gotten contract on a home that they love, so they have to sell. All these reasons. So, I'm not saying you have to buy, but I really think it's a great opportunity. And, would you be willing to sacrifice a Thanksgiving and Christmas if you knew that meant getting your dream house for 25, 50,000 less?
Yes, there's two ways to look at that,
Right?
Billy. I'd say one is life is short. Get in while you can, take advantage of the opportunity, and get the dream house that you want without having to fight with other competitors, other buyers, for example. And you could say, well, I'm going to miss out with my family. Well, get them involved.
Right.
You get more family time. Just have them help you and make it like a big group event. Like instead of playing football on Thanksgiving, pack up the boxes.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, for me, most of the people I work with are over 50, and years go by fast. And what's a Thanksgiving and a Christmas that you might miss.
Right.
That's not perfect with your whole family. So there's two ways of looking at it. Get everyone involved, or just suck it up and do it because it's just 1 year out of your life.
Or, and if you don't love your in-laws, it might be a valid excuse for missing a family gathering, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
Absolutely. You could go on vacation. A lot of people go on vacation this time of year,
right,
right? And but you could be looking at your dream house instead.
right.
So I wanted to tell you that Nigel, my husband, and I, we put an offer in November, December, and our closing date was January 17th. When I went and looked at our house, I saw about 30 realtor cards on the kitchen counter, and the counters were from the 70s. Even though our house was built in 85, we got like a 70s theme going on. I don't know what happened, but I see those counters, the tiles with the bumpy, they're horrible, and I still have them. But
Little avocado hue
no,
blended
no,
in.
no, not that bad. Not that. But Nigel's like, this is livable, and I'm like, I guess so. But that, again, as a horse owner, outdoors kind of lady, I didn't care as much about the inside. I'm like, we'll get
Yeah.
to it when we can. But my point is that I think we got this house at a lower price.
Right.
We did not have any competition.
Yeah.
We asked for seller credit. I come through the home inspection. We didn't have any issues with the well or the septic. Actually, our well is like 25 GPM, which is awesome. And
That's
at the
phenomenal.
time, as
Wow.
someone from the Bay Area, I had no clue. Didn't know anything what a GPM was, which is another video.
Gallons per minute.
Yes,
Yeah.
gallons per minute. I didn't know what a miner's inch is what you buy from NID here. And I didn't know anything about septic tanks. So, yeah, and we have a whole sprinkler system here that is half of it's broken, but we didn't care, we didn't know, and it was a trustee sale, so we scored in that sense
Right.
because we got the house we wanted. My dream was to have a pond, to have a pool, and have land for my horses. I had at the time an older senior horse. He's passed away.
Oh.
In fact, his ashes are under that willow tree over there.
Oh, that's amazing.
And his name was Finn Guinness. He died at 22. But I had realtors showing me properties that were on steep hillsides and saying this was a horse property, and I was actually offended. I'm like,
Sure.
Really? You would think I'm going to put my horse here?
Yeah.
And that's why I became a realtor.
Yeah.
Is to help people get the right property for them.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think it's such a huge piece of education, like we're talking about with equestrian. And those people that, if you're open to this and you want to talk with someone like Lori and myself and just have a conversation about it, here's my analogy: is that most of the year, from beginning of May to really last week, the end of October, you're swimming in choppy water. You are swimming with the masses and you're competing with everybody.
That's not fun.
That's not fun.
No.
And I know about you, but I want to find the calm water, that that lake water that's like glass. You go out in the morning, the boats haven't hit it yet. There's no competition.
Yeah, and the seller accepts your offer in less than a day. You give them 3 to decide.
Right.
You're like, I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, and I think too with the acreage properties, because not as many people pursue acreage properties because it's a certain type of buyer. So add that to the mix. So you find a property this time of year, team. It's been on the market for a while. Don't assume that you can't make even a wild offer that's very competitive. My wife and I got our dream home. We never thought we'd have a home like this. It wasn't during the winter, but it was a situation where they'd just fallen out of contract. I'll never forget, we offered $100,000 under, and my realtor, who was fantastic, and my wife both said, "No, that's offensive. Don't do that." And I said,
worth a try.
I'm not too worried about hurting anyone's feelings. And guess what? Ultimately, we found out once we were in contract, the seller had already bought another home. They had to move forward. So they were, up against the gun.
Or they might have overpriced it and didn't realize it and weren't educated enough that it wasn't at the right price.
Right. So, it's the old adage, gang, is you always miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I really think there's great value in looking this time of year. And if it's not the right time for you, it's not. But keep your eye on the prize, because there's so much great value out there. And as this relates to interest rates, we may be looking at that and thinking, all right, Lori and Billy, that sounds great, but rates are high. And this kind of ties it all together, is that this lends itself more to the idea that you're not competing with as many people, because whenever interest rates tick up a little bit, and like I said, we're up about 5/8 from the lows went right before the Fed reduced rates. There's less competition, and we have a saying in real estate that you date the rate, you marry the house, you marry the purchase price. So what you pay for the house is important, but you date the rate. And what we mean by that is when rates come down, you're going to refinance. You're going to take advantage of that.
You just
And
did that.
we know that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
We already know the Federal Reserve is at the very beginning of this campaign to reduce interest rates. Historically, the first year, even into the second, but historically, the first year housing market does well. And we see all the signs that at least long-term rates are coming down. So don't be discouraged by that. See it as an opportunity, because I can tell you, just since the bad news of rates going up, I've seen people that have taken the bench and decided not to buy. And I think it just creates opportunity for those of you that are willing to consider all the points that we're making.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
I feel like we should, kill it and go have some more wine.
I think that sounds good. Have a great weekend, everybody. Cheers.
Bye.